If you want to get rich, the first thing you need to do is stop thinking like a poor person. Most people have no idea they're actually thinking like a poor person. A poor mindset doesn't just stop you from getting wealthy, it actively destroys wealth when it arrives, pulling everything back to the level that's always been comfortable with. Now here's the scary part. Give a poor mindset more money. It doesn't get richer. The most dangerous thing in the world isn't having no money, it's having a poor mindset with a lot of it. And I'm going to prove that to you in the next 90 seconds. Imagine waking up tomorrow with 9.7 million in the bank. Now imagine losing every single penny within just 8 years. Now that's actually happened, and the reason it's happened has a deeper meaning behind it. In November 2002, a 19-year-old bin man won 9.7 in the UK, 9.7 million in the UK on the national lottery, buying a £1 ticket. Michael Carroll, known as the Lotto Lout, the king of the chavs. when you have Michael Carroll, yeah, put him as a king, yeah, with dressed like a chav with a fucking crown on, right? And within 8 years, every single fucking penny was gone. It wasn't stolen, not a bad investment, totally spent. Parties costing 50,000 a night, on multiple cars, 2k a day on just, and £1,000 a day on just pure chaos. I mean, come on. By 2010, his spending had blown through his entire lot of winnings, and he ended up reapplying for his old job as the bin man. You can take the man out the rubbish, but you can't take the rubbish out the man. That's so fucking good. And here's why this story is so important. It wasn't bad luck or bad advice. It was something that psychologists have studied and documented for decades. It's a phenomenon called hedonic adaptation. This is a psychological process that was first identified by psychologists Brickman and Campbell back in 1971. It refers to the notion that the feelings you experience as a result of positive or negative life events essentially return to a relatively stable baseline level of happiness after those events occur. So basically, we all have a baseline, a default level of financial behavior that we always return to no matter what changes take place on the outside. Now Michael's baseline was set to poor, and him losing his 9.7 million was his poor mindset finding his way back to what he was used to. Now think about it. If his mindset had been different, that 9.7 million, if invested wisely, would have grown into tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions, generating income, building a legacy, creating generational wealth for his family. But more money never fixes a poor mindset. It gives that poor mindset more to play with, which is actually really dangerous. Now, the only thing that changes the result permanently is changing the thinking behind it. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about in this video. I'm Mindy, founder and CEO of Mind, Money and Business. Now, I've helped business owners add an extra $100 million of revenue into their businesses across more than 87 different industries globally. Now, in this video, I'm going to show you the 3 mindset shifts that separate those people who build wealth from the ones who stay stuck, no matter how much money that comes in. So let's get into it. Shift number 1, understanding what the poor mindset actually looks like, whether you're actually running on one. A poor mindset isn't just about having no money and being broke. It's a set of deeply ingrained beliefs about money, worth, and what's possible, and this was formed long before you had any say in it. So what a poor mindset actually looks like in practice. So just imagine that you have a thermostat that controls your heating at home. Now you have an exact type of a thermostat that controls your income and how much you're allowed in, how much you keep, and how much stays. So think about the king of chavs. His financial thermostat was set like the wage of a bin man. And when he went above that, the 9.7 million, guess what happened? That soon came back down to the financial thermostat that he had set, which is the wage that he's on. So the reason why he didn't keep his 9.7 million is because he never adjusted his financial thermostat. Now this happens with a lot of people. If you look at sports stars, celebrities, they make a huge amount of money, like crazy sums of money, and all of a sudden, within an amount of years, they're broke. They're living on the streets with no money. Everything's gone because the financial thermostat was in control of the finances. That's why it's called a financial thermostat. So I want you to think about your financial thermostat. Take a close look at your results. Look at how much money that you're making every single month. Despite what you think you should earn, despite what you want, despite what you dream about, take a look over the last 12 months, what's been the kind of regular amount of money that's always flown into your bank account? There's 2 levels of income. There's one that it never drops below, and there's another level that it never goes above. And if it ever does go above a certain level, like the Lotto Lout, it soon comes crashing back down. Now that's not down to luck, it's not down to the economy, that's down to your own financial thermostat settings. So this explains why some people make huge amounts of money and they soon come crashing back down. They have like a yo-yo, like a yo-yo, like a yo-yo, like a yo-yo. You can actually keep that in there, like a yo-yo. I gave you that purposely. So this is why you have a few good months, 5, 6 good months, and all of a sudden it comes crashing back down. And what people start to do is they start to find new opportunities. They look at new marketing strategies. They look at doing other things. But unless you change that financial thermostat, you're always going to come back to your default setting. Now, most people don't understand this, but the wealthy people understand how the financial thermostat works, and they understand what they've got to do in order for them to maintain that new financial thermostat. And guess what? Every level that you get to, there's always a new financial thermostat you have to break. Financial thermostat, in other words, is a set of beliefs, right? But it's just a nicer way of looking at it, just like the financial thermostat you see on screen here. Sorry, Dan, made you put financial thermostat on there. Okay? So next time your money comes crashing back down and it's inconsistent, remember, it's the financial thermostat that's in control of your income. It controls how much you keep, how much stays, and how much you make. Before shift number 2, if this is already landing with you, I put together a 5-day challenge. Now there's a link in the description below where you can register for your seat right now. Over the 5 days, I'll walk you through exactly how to implement everything that we're covering in this video today into your business so you can start attracting more clients and build lasting wealth. So make sure you hit the link below and grab your seat right now for the 5-day challenge. Shift number 2. Understanding how the poor mindset is actively destroying wealth within your business right now. Most people think that poor mindset is just limiting beliefs on what they earn, but the real danger is what it actually does when the money arrives. It finds a way to get rid of the money. It always drifts away, flies away. So let's look at how the poor mindset actually shows up when it comes to spending. Now, wealthy people invest in assets. Assets are something that's going to bring you back a return on your investment. Poor people spend. They'll buy things like cars that depreciate massively. They'll constantly be looking for things that they don't need, justifying why they need them. So ask yourself, next time you buy something, do you really need this or do you want this? There's a difference. Now, if a rich person wants something, they'll always find a way to earn the extra money to buy that thing. So let's say that I want to buy a new car, and I do. I'm looking at a Rolls-Royce drop head, right? Worth a lot of money. So now I'm thinking, right, I can afford to buy it right now, but why don't I set myself a goal in order for me to go buy this with new money? I don't want to buy this with existing money. So I'm kind of setting myself a goal inside my mind, and it's a target, it's a goal. So now I need to get hungry to get this, because otherwise, when I buy this car here, there's not going to be as much satisfaction as buying it with new money that I've just created, like this new wealth. So I want to create new wealth. So poor people, they'll get to a certain amount in their account. They'll save a certain amount. And what happens is once they hit this record high, they think, ooh, now I can go spend some money. I can go buy something. And they go spend the excess money. And then what happens when they get to that same point again? Panic kicks in. Sometimes they might hold on to it. Or they'll say, you know what? I can afford to spend again. Now, there's probably a level of income that you have in your bank account where you feel safe to spend again. And there's probably also a level in your bank account where you start to panic, thinking, I better hold on to my money. So you start to protect that. That's the poor mindset in action. Also, the poor mindset in action is when you undercharge in your business, when you start to discount at the end of the month because nobody's brought, because you've got bills coming out. And what do you find yourself doing? Getting desperate for money. And that's coming from a poor mindset. Now, if you didn't have a poor mindset in the first place, you wouldn't be dragging out at the end of the month trying to make ends meet. So I want you to look at the end of the month for you. When you look at the bills that are coming out, do you start to panic? Do you have this sick feeling inside? Or do you say, well, that's cool, I've got more money than I need? You always want to get into that point where you've got more money than you actually need. And that only comes from a wealthy mindset. A poor mindset, poor results, poor income, no money in the bank, or low money in the bank. A wealthy mindset, more money than you always need. And the poor mindset also shows up in that self-sabotage. When you start to self-sabotage yourself, have you ever been in a situation when you're about to make the sale and you feel what you're about to sell is too much money, the prospect won't be able to buy it. So before you've even delivered the price is normally this, but for you to say, I'll do it for this. The poor mindset, desperation comes in. So you don't value what you do. You'll never catch someone highly successful who believes in themselves, who's got a higher self-worth, do that. Discount, subconscious discounting. So you discount before the prospect's even asked because you can't justify what you're charging. Another way of spotting sabotage is when you have an opportunity laid in front of you. It's a great opportunity by someone that you trust and it's a no-brainer. But something inside your mind starts telling you why it wouldn't work, all the reasons why it wouldn't work. And it starts picking your brains about all the negative stuff, but you haven't thought about all the reasons why it couldn't work. And there's probably 100 reasons why it could, but your brain starts to figure out why it wouldn't work. And that's that self-sabotage that's caused by that poor mindset, because it's always going to find a way to keep you poor. And it's always going to stop you making the decisions, taking the action that's going to finally get you out the poor mindset. Now, I see this happen lots of times in my coaching. Now, some people inquire to work with us and they know that they can get help from us. They know we can help, but all of a sudden, when it comes to the crunch, when it comes to the money, parting with some money that's going to produce some more, they have this inner self-sabotage that kicks in where it says, don't do it, it's risky, you might lose the money, it might not work for you, won't work for you. Well, so on the other hand, a successful person will make the decision fast and change it slowly if at all. And that comes from Napoleon Hill after interviewing 500 of the most successful men and women. So wealthy mindset decisions are made differently to poor mindset decisions, and the outcome is self-explanatory. You can see it in the results. Shift number 3, reset the mindset permanently and start building wealth that actually sticks. Now, the shift from poor thinking to rich thinking isn't just about positive affirmations or vision boards and thinking positive. It's about replacing the actual beliefs that have been running the show behind the scenes. Behind the subconscious mind is a story, and that story is going to control and dictate everything that you attract into your life. So what a rich mindset actually looks like in practice. So think about, you're about to make an investment. Let's say you're about to apply to work inside my coaching. You get offered the opportunity, and you know I can help you, you need my help, you've seen all the results that I get. Now the crunch comes, I say I can help you, my team says I can help you, and now it's down to you. You say, yes, I want to do this, but inside yourself, you have this undeniable fear, this uncertainty, where you back out of what you really want because you can't think that you can actually get there. All you're worried about is the cost of the investment. You don't think about what it's going to return you. So that cost of the investment is from a poor mindset, because all you can do is think about why it wouldn't work for you based upon your current thinking, your current beliefs. That's why you'll always stay stuck. Now you've got to develop the courage to say, you know what? I'm going to bet on myself. Let me get out the poor mindset, get into the rich mindset, and actually start making decisions like somebody who's wealthy. Because there's two types of people. One who makes slow decisions, and those people are often broke. And those people who make fast decisions who are often winning. So which one are you? Look at how you make financial decisions. In fact, look at where your finances are right now. Those finances that you have in your bank, the money that you earn consistently is based upon your mindset. So if you're earning more money than you need, then you have an abundant, rich mindset. If you don't have enough money compared to the way you want to live, you have a poor mindset. So how can you get from the poor mindset over to the rich? So let's look at this in real life practice. Now let's say you're running a business right now, you're doing everything by yourself. You don't have enough hours in a day and you know that you're losing money. So the poor mindset says, I can't afford to hire help. So you don't hire help because you're looking at the cost of hiring help, expertise, specialities. On the other hand, a rich mindset, someone with a wealthy mindset, will always find people to bring in. They'll always pay it and value that person because they know by me getting this person on board, it's going to help me get to my goal faster and it's going to help me cut out the time. So a poor mindset always avoids paying for help. A rich mindset always buys in help. So this is raising your financial baseline. When wealth finally arrives, it stays, and that's what causes your financial thermostat to rise. This shift actually produces results that feel almost unreasonable, because once that internal program changes, the external results have no choice but to follow. So I want you to think about it, right? Look at your own results. Look for examples of when you've raised your financial thermostat and it didn't stay there. Because guess what? You still operate from that old mindset. Now, once you start to get to a level where you're consistent, that's when you've had that shift where your results will follow on from there. So don't be denied the opportunity for success and wealth by a poor mindset. Now, just to bring this in full circle, a poor mindset isn't just about having no money. It's actually a program that was formed way long before you even started your business that actively limits what you earn, destroys wealth when it arrives, and pulls back everything to that level that it's always been set at. The lotto lout, the king of chads, is probably one of the most extreme cases of real life proof of the financial thermostat. Even 9.7 million couldn't override a poor mindset. Nothing external ever can. Now, these three shifts that we covered today. Shift number 1, understanding what a poor mindset actually looks like. So go check out your financial thermostat. What is it saying about you? And shift number 2, understanding how the poor mindset is actively destroying wealth inside your business right now. Because it's not just limiting what comes in, it's finding a way to get rid of what arrives. And shift number 3, reset the mindset permanently and start to build wealth that actually sticks and lasts. Because once the internal program changes, the external results have no choice but to follow. The most dangerous thing in the world isn't having no freaking money. It's having a poor mindset with a lot of it. You now know what that looks like. You now know how to change it. The only question is, will you? If you like this video, then you need to watch the next one on the screen right here. Now you know your wealth isn't just about income. It's controlled by your mindset program, which controls the financial baseline that keeps you at that level. In this next video, you'll learn exactly what stops entrepreneurs making more money and the hidden blocks that people never ever see. And when they actually do see them, everything around them starts to change. So click the video right here and I'll see you over there.